Where do you get your reality from? Talking to people? Personal adventures? Newspapers? TV? Internet articles? Or maybe social media? There's so many ways for you to be informed about what's happening in the world. However, one of the worst ways is through social media, which is ego media. Let me explain. The world you perceive through the media can come from many different perspectives. It can be from exomedia, the focus on the beyond, a gaze into the stars of our universe. These sources often come from scientists. It can be ecomedia, the focus on Earth from above, showing you the world on a truly global perspective. These often come from global organizations. It can be from endomedia, which focuses on the inside of humanity, often coming from people like doctors or psychologists. These are all great ways to see the totality of our reality. But there's one concept of media that's the most easiest to engage with, but has the least to engage with: ego media. Its most recognized form is as social media. Ego media is all about you, your hot takes, your interests, what makes you happy. The world revolves around you as you surround yourself with like-minded people. Your entire view is controlled by you. And social media companies' entire business is keeping you in that safe space. This type of media has very big consequences because the world doesn't revolve around you. In fact, there are 7 billion other people who also live on the same planet and are just as real as you are. Using yourself as the center of reality, it can bend and twist what's real into the hyper-real. When everything is about you, those 7 billion other people suddenly seem less important and even less real. You can still look through the window and see the world outside, but anything outside of your immediate perception becomes the hyper-real, based off the social media perceptions. Have you seen an elephant? The pyramids, the Amazon, refugees, misogyny, or racism? If you haven't, then your perception can all be manipulated by the hyper-real. What is the hyper-real? The hyper-real is where the symbols of the real have replaced the real, thus creating an artificial reality that consumers and users consider superior to the real reality. When an influencer shows their lavish life and the fun and joy they have, it creates a new reality that you can't live up to. If your media tells you elephants are smaller than you think, aliens built a pyramid, the Amazon is fine, that refugees don't look human, that misogyny is overblown, or racism doesn't exist, how can you tell the difference? When this is all the media you ingest, you become lost in the hyper-real, and that has consequences. One example is similar to what happened on January 6, 2021, at the United States Capitol. During the 10th election, President Trump declared his victory before all the votes had been counted, causing a stir on social media. Over social media, he declared his win and denied all other evidence. The news and outside media corrected the record every day to the best of their ability, but Trump maintained the same social media narrative. The reality that the political candidate lost challenged their hyper-reality, and the prodding of the president made hundreds of people come to defend themselves from reality to maintain the hyper-reality they desired, because it was superior to their actual reality. Reality cannot be changed into the hyper-real, and only having the hyper-real can lead you down a very dark road. The sources of your reality are important. You constantly ingest countless forms of media, and it can be where you learn about other forms of constructive media and that inspire you to see reality for what it is. While media shouldn't be your only way of consuming information about the world, it can prove a helpful extension of who you are, in moderation, but focusing in on only yourself and what makes you feel good and feel heard can directly contradict what is really happening in reality, which can be damaging to not just you, but others. In the words of Marshall McLuhan, we shape our tools, and therefore our tools shape us.
Butter salty leather, floss and fatty juggy. Always threw me off when she told me daddy funk me. I'm like any who's see you walking all out in the street without any shoes.